Today, we're digging into something really fascinating, the architecture of our character. We're going to look at it through the Islamic concept of purifying the soul. Basically, how do you build who you are from the inside out? So let's get right into it.
So let me just start with a question. What really makes a person religious? I mean, is it just about the things you can see? The prayers, the fasting, all the rituals we might do? And this really highlights a core conflict. See, Islam offers this powerful insight. You could be doing all the right religious actions, but if your character, your morals, the way you treat other people is corrupt, then your faith is missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Something is just fundamentally incomplete. And that brings us to our first big idea here. Faith can't just be about rituals. It has to show up in our actions, for sure, but maybe even more importantly, in the very fabric of our character. The Qur'an is actually super clear about this connection. You see verses like this one, which links being a believer and doing good deeds directly to this idea of purification. It says that the highest ranks are for those who purify themselves. So you see, the action and the purification, they're totally inseparable. And that whole process, well, it actually has a name, Tazkiyah. It's this all-encompassing idea of purification. It's not just about one little part of your life. It's about cleaning up, well, everything. Your inner self, your character, your motivations, and crucially, how you deal with every single person around you. And this really drives the point home. Good morals aren't some kind of optional extra for a believer. They're not just a nice-to-have feature. No, they are a core, non-negotiable requirement of the faith itself. It's a central part of the whole path. Okay, so if being a moral person is so essential, a pretty natural question pops up, right? How are we supposed to know what's right and what's wrong in the first place? Let's take a look at how Islam approaches this. I mean, this is one of the oldest questions out there, but the Qur'an gives this really beautiful, almost intuitive answer. It suggests that this knowledge isn't just something we have to learn from the outside. It's like something is already built right into us. So here's how the Qur'an explains it. It says that God created the soul and then inspired it with an awareness of both its capacity for wrongdoing and its capacity for goodness. And our success or failure in life, it all comes down to which path we take. Do we work to purify that soul, or do we let it get corrupted? It's almost like we were given a moral compass from day one. This inner guide is sometimes called the reproaching soul, which is basically what we'd call our conscience. It's that voice inside that knows the truth, even when we're busy trying to make excuses for ourselves. You know that feeling, right? That little pang of guilt when you know you've done something wrong? Well, that's seen as a mercy, a built-in alarm system designed to push us back towards purifying ourselves. Okay, so we've got this inner compass, but what's supposed to fuel this journey? What is the ultimate motivation for trying to be a good person? I mean, let's be real. People are moral for all kinds of reasons, right? To look good in front of other people, to earn the respect, maybe even to feel a little bit superior, or maybe just to avoid the shame of getting caught doing something wrong. But all of these are external. They're social motivations. But Islam really pushes us toward something much, much deeper, a higher motive that goes beyond all of that. And that is, the purest form of morality is what you do for God and for God alone. This short, super powerful verse just captures that idea perfectly. The goal isn't to get praise or some favor from people. The ideal believer acts only to seek the face of his Lord. And think about what that does. It creates a morality that doesn't disappear when nobody's watching, because you know that God is always watching. So this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's dive into what many scholars call the Qur'an's master moral principle. It's like a practical roadmap. Honestly, if you had to boil down Islamic ethics into one single verse, this would probably be it. It's so comprehensive. On one hand, it tells us what we need to build up, justice and excellence. And on the other, it tells us what we need to get rid of, immorality, evil, and oppression. Let's break that down real quick. First up is adl, or justice. And we're not talking about a selective kind of justice. This means giving every single person their fair rights. Now here's the really hard part. You have to be just even when it's against your own interests, or your family's interests, or even against people you actively dislike. Justice has to be for everyone. No exceptions. But then God commands something that's on a level even higher than justice. And that's Ihsan, or excellence. This is the spirit of going beyond the bare minimum. It's about being generous when you don't have to be.
forgiving someone when you have every right to hold a grudge. It's about being actively considerate. This is what truly builds beautiful, merciful communities.
Here's a really simple way to think about the difference. Justice says, I will give you exactly what you are owed. It's fair, it's balanced. But excellence says, I will give you more than what you are owed. You can see how that's a total game changer, right? It's what heals relationships and makes society beautiful.
And on the flip side, the verse warns us to stay away from 3 major moral diseases. There's fasha, which is like shameful, open immorality. Then there's munkar, which is evil that pretty much everyone agrees is wrong, things like lying and cruelty. And finally, baghi, that's oppression, arrogance, and abusing whatever power or authority you might have over others.
So we've talked about the foundation, the inner compass, the motivation, and this practical roadmap. But what's the point of it all? Where is this whole journey supposed to lead? What's the destination?
The Qur'an describes the end goal with this absolutely stunningly beautiful address to what it calls the contented soul. This is the soul that has finished its journey of purification. It's finally at peace. And it's told to return to its Lord, happy with its reward and having been pleasing to God.
So, in the end, the goal isn't just about ticking boxes and counting your good deeds. The real destination is a state of being, to arrive before God with a clean heart, a truly purified soul, and a character that is a perfect reflection of your faith.
And that really leaves us with one last thought. Religion isn't just about practicing rituals, it's about becoming a better person through that practice. So the real question we have to ask ourselves isn't just, am I praying, but is my character actually getting better? Is my honesty, my kindness, and my sense of justice for other people improving day by day? That is the real measure of the journey.